This video is sponsored by Granite Studio, RKTF University.
Good morning, I'm Vidusha Agarwal and you're watching News Flash. Today is the 4th of June and we have a lineup of crucial stories touching every corner of the globe, from the latest developments in politics to groundbreaking advancements in technology. Heavy violence erupted for the third consecutive day since US President Joe Biden's White House statement on Monday, casting doubt on a proposed Gaza truce and hostage release arrangement. On Friday, Biden outlined an Israeli three-phase plan aimed at freeing all captives, ending the conflict, and enabling the reconstruction of the devastated Palestinian region without Hamas in power. Jack Lew, the US ambassador to Israel, stated that achieving a two-state solution would be a defeat for Hamas. He emphasized that a Palestinian state within this framework must emerge from direct negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians, and that unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state is not the appropriate path forward. Over 1 million people have been forced to leave the Gaza city of Rafah, according to a report released on Monday by the United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency. Humanitarian organizations reported that approximately 1 million Palestinians displaced by Israeli attacks in other parts of the enclave sought refuge in the small city in the southern border of the Gaza Strip. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stated on Monday that Hamas views the US offer for a hostage deal positively and is awaiting the Israeli response to a proposal. According to a Times of Israel report, Shoukry is in Spain for discussions on the Gaza border and Madrid's recognition of a Palestinian state. The US State Department announced that Secretary of State Antony Blinken held phone calls with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and War Cabinet Minister Benny Gantz on Sunday. The discussions focused on the latest Israeli hostage deal proposal unveiled by President Joe Biden late last week. The Speaker of Georgia's parliament said he gave the final endorsement on Monday to a divisive foreign agents bill that has prompted weeks of protests by critics who say it will restrict media freedom and jeopardize Georgia's chances of joining the European Union. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said on Monday the United States could face fatal consequences if it ignored Moscow's warnings not to let Ukraine use weapons provided by Washington to strike targets inside Russia. Hunter Biden, the son of US President Joe Biden, is set to stand trial on felony gun charges, marking a historic moment as no child of a sitting US president has ever faced such legal proceedings. The trial, which could have significant implications for President Biden's re-election campaign, involves charges stemming from Hunter Biden's 2018 purchase of a firearm while he was allegedly addicted to drugs. A day after the Maldives government announced a ban on Israeli passport holders visiting the island nation, Israel urged its citizens to visit the Lakshadweep Islands instead. On Monday, Consul General of Israel to Midwest India, Kobi Shoshani, lauded the Maldives' controversial decision. The European Union has once again refused to lift the ban on Pakistani air carriers, including Pakistan International Airlines. According to ARY News, the decision was made during a recent meeting where the EU found no grounds to amend the current list of air carriers banned from operating within the Union. The European Union's disinformation busting team last month debunked a Russian language video on YouTube that said citizens were fleeing dictatorship in EU member Poland and seeking refuge in Belarus, a close ally of Moscow. China on Monday denied accusations by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that it was attempting to prevent other countries from attending a planned peace summit on the war in Ukraine. Zelensky had claimed at a security forum in Singapore that Beijing was working hard today to prevent countries from coming to the peace summit, which is scheduled to be hosted by the Switzerland later this month. It is time for a break now. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
इस तरह आरकेटीएफ विश्वविद्यालय राज्य और देश के आधुनिक और उच्च विश्वविद्यालयों में से एक है। आरकेटीएफ यूनिवर्सिटी RKDF University, a world-class university. Education glorifies nation.
The ministry offices in Luton's Delhi, Hotel Janpath, as well as airport terminals. Granite Studio India, with its prestigious brands, rich experience, and the trust of our clients, can be your reliable partner. We are here for you, for innovating, processing, supplying, and executing in stone. Contact us today for our special sample kit.
Claudia Sheinbaum from the latest leftist Morena party has been elected Mexico's first woman president, securing at least 58.3% of the vote according to the results reported by National Electoral Institute in Mexico. As the Russia-Ukraine war continues, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that former US President Donald Trump would risk being a loser president if he wins the November elections and imposes an unfavorable peace deal. A 23-year-old Indian student is missing in the US state of California since last week, and police have sought the public's help in finding her, the latest case in the country as the community grapples with a string of such incidents involving students. Sri Lanka closed schools on Monday due to heavy rain causing floods and mudslides in various parts of the island nation. Officials reported at least 10 people dead and 6 others missing. The Education Ministry stated that the reopening of schools would be a contingent on weather conditions. Ola Electric is reportedly planning to lay off around 400 to 500 employees in the coming weeks, according to sources familiar with the matter. The reason for the layoffs is described as rather unusual. The Economic Times reported that Ola is preparing for a round of job cuts, although the exact number of layoffs planned by Bhavesh Aggarwal, founder CEO of Ola Electric, has not been finalized. The Nagpur District Court on Monday sentenced former BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited engineer Nishant Aggarwal to life imprisonment under the Official Secrets Act for spying for Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI. Aggarwal was also ordered to undergo rigorous imprisonment for 14 years and fined Rs 3,000. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar on Monday revealed that India has created a world record of 642 million voters and gave a standing ovation to all those who exercised their franchisee in the Lok Sabha elections. A Delhi-Mumbai Akasa Air flight carrying 193 passengers, including an infant and 6 crew members, was diverted to Ahmedabad after receiving a security threat on board. The flight QP1719 was en route from Delhi to Mumbai on June 3, 2024 with 186 passengers, 1 infant and 6 crew members on board when the security alert occurred. Investors gained nearly Rs 12 lakh crore as the market capitalization of all listed companies on the BSE Sensex surged to Rs 423.21 lakh crore on Monday, June 3rd. This marks a significant increase from the previous market capitalization of Rs 412.12 lakh crore on Friday. The BSE market capitalization surged to approximately $5.09 trillion on Monday. 3 coaches of the Taj Express train caught fire in southeast Delhi's Sarita Vihar on Monday, officials confirmed. Fortunately, no injuries were reported as passengers were able to evacuate the affected coaches in time. The cause of the fire was not immediately determined. Delhi Fire Services officials responded to a call at 4:24 p.m. and dispatched 8 fire tenders to the scene. That's all for the headlines of the day. For more updates, download the app and keep watching Rhythm.